Hey guys, how are y'all doing? I just wanted to come on to this or create this video because I just feel like it's really important to just discuss this topic of manipulation, and it's more so common in relationships, and manipulative behavior is probably so much more common and occurs more often than what we think. And unfortunately, I was a victim to it. Which kind of explains why I'm a little bit emotional. But I think it's really important that we talk about it, because I think a lot of the time people don't realize that they're under a form of manipulation. And I'm very well connected to, or more so aware. I'm very aware of what goes on in my surroundings, how people behave, how certain things come across. Like, I'm very aware of people's behavior. And I was even very much so blindsided until it came to a point where I'm feeling like this, for me to realize that actually this is a form of manipulation. And manipulation can come across in many ways, and it can form through, like, it can be traits of narcissistic behavior, all those things. But manipulation is very common, and I think it's just way too common in today's society, in relationships, in friendships, in family dynamics, everywhere. I see it all the time, and for me to actually be a victim of it and witnessing it, being a victim of it, experiencing it firsthand, makes me realize that even someone like me, who thought I was so aware and so switched on, and like, nope, this isn't happening. I know exactly what's happening because I've studied human behavior for many years, like even before I was consciously aware of me studying it. But I used to study people's behavior and how they would react, and even I was fooled. And it came out for me when I set firm boundaries, and when I feel like it kind of can become an eye-opener for a lot of people when they do decide to set their boundaries and stick with it. But in most cases, or in a lot of cases, when manipulation occurs and someone's not firm in their boundaries, and they don't have that reassurance within themselves that what they're saying and their boundary setting is okay for them, like it's reasonable, then what happens with manipulation is it turns into a convincing, which is where narcissistic traits come in. Narcissistic traits come in, start to shine through. Gaslighting behavior starts to appear when you start to set your boundaries and they don't like it, and so they turn it back on you and make you feel the bad guy because they can't emotionally accept or process it. So they project back onto you and make you the bad guy. This is narcissistic behavior. This is manipulation. And like I said, if you don't feel confident within you setting your boundaries, and if they're good, which a lot of the time they are, it takes one little moment, right? Then that is where the narcissistic and the manipulation really comes into play, and you start to doubt yourself. You start to doubt what you've said. You start to think that, maybe you were too harsh, or you were too crazy, or, maybe you're being unreasonable. And this is where it's really important for you to be very aware of the situation. And I almost got fooled for it. And for me, that's so surprising, because I set my boundaries. I was very firm, and you can tell by their behavior. And I think more so in what I just experienced, like literally like 5 minutes ago, which is why I wanted to come on here, because I'm kind of like, you know, it's very fresh and raw and real, and I wanted to speak about this for ages, because I've seen it, but I hadn't really dealt with it firsthand or experienced it for a while, and so this is why I'm talking about it. But yeah, I can't even remember what I was saying. I'm just so like emotional, like my energy is just coming through, and my emotions. But what happened, I'm going to tell you what happened. Yes, that's what I was saying. This is where it starts. I'm going to tell you what happened in my situation and how this is narcissistic. You'll start to see. So the conversation was just normal. Now there were certain expectations placed, right? There was a certain, and I'm not going to go into detail. There was a certain expectation placed, right? And it was all good. So for example, let's say that something was due by a certain date, like, you know, that's just throwing that out there, right? Like what I'm saying is an expectation. What happened was I had questioned it, and I got the confirmation, yep, all good. Didn't follow through. So I very, what's the word? Not firmly, not forceful, but just directly, you know, very in a professional manner, set my boundaries and was like, look, this didn't happen. Blah, blah, blah. And expressed how I felt, but very calmly, very, you know, like I said, professional. I didn't go off my rocker at all. And then this person didn't like it. No. They said, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I'll do it, whatever. Gave it till the end of the day. Still didn't do it. And then I set my boundary. I said, that's it, right? That's it. That's it for me. You know, I set my boundaries. I was very lenient. I was compassionate. You know, I was very understanding. This is my boundaries and I'm sticking with it. They then was not happy with that. Mind you, before they were like, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 right? They switched. This is narcissistic behavior, when they switch, when they don't know how to, they don't like authority, because to them it's a game. They may not realize, but to them it's a game. Now, for me, I was very firm, and they didn't like that. And so what happened was they switched. They got very manipulative. They turned it back on me and started listing all the things that I had said, threw it out of context, made up shit that wasn't even true, and said all these things, but said it in a way as though I was to blame. Now, they're very good at it. And it makes you question. And this is what this person did to me. Was I then questioned, was like, okay, maybe I'm being unreasonable because, you know, I was being pushy, or, you know, I wasn't, you know, they're going through some stuff, or whatever they said, right? And then I was like, hold on, no. And if they don't like that I've set my firm boundaries, and I was very, very respectful, and they were aware now that they had quickly flipped because I was very firm with it. The first time I was like, yep, cool, no worries. Second time I was like, no, this has happened, and then I've ended it. So it was obviously I said something that they didn't like. They did not like, and that's where it triggers for them, because emotionally they've completely shut off. What they do is, if they don't like something, if you're not under their manipulation, then they flip it back on you and they make you feel bad, and that's how it's pleasing to them. That's how they feel better, because they don't want to feel like they're in the wrong. Absolutely not. That's the last thing that they want to think. So they put it back on you and make you feel bad. So this person said things and I was like, oh. And the way that this person said it, it was like, maybe I was being unreasonable. Maybe I was being a bit too pushy, you know, and they said that they were, you know, they were trying to do the right thing, and, you know, they were just certain things that they were saying, and it made me feel bad. And this is where they get you. They make you feel like what you're saying is unreasonable because it makes them, because then they feel a certain way. That's how they use it, right? And this is, and it made me question for a bit, and I'm like, well, hold on. And I got really upset, and I was like, and then I had a moment where I'm like, no, this is my boundary. So I reinforced it and I said, look, no, like I'm not putting up like this. No, I'm standing strong in my boundaries because they're my boundaries, and I've got to put myself first, and I've got to reinforce them in a, you know, respectful manner. And then flipped, because you are no longer under their manipulation. They no longer have control of you. So what they do, they ride you off. I got abused. I got, you know, to call these things like, oh, it's just disgusting behavior. And that's why I got a bit emotional, because I was like, well, how can someone go from being, you know, nice, sympathetic or whatever, because that's what they do. They know how to change. They know how to change. It's all an act. It's what they say. It's bullshit, right? It's not real, right? There's no sympathetic or empathy. There's no, you know, and in relationships in particular, they express like they love you and all these things, and then for them to quickly flip like that, and this is what happened. They flipped, and then they were saying like, you know, I did all of this, blah blah blah, and, you know, like, your loss, whatever. And I'm thinking, no, because like, I don't deserve this type of behavior. I don't deserve this. And I think where a lot of people that don't have that, like, that reinforcement or that confidence within them to be like, no, like, yes, there were good moments, right? Because in relationships, you may have good moments in a narcissistic relationship. That's it. They're very good at that. They convince you to love you and nurture you and all this stuff, and then they can flip on you like this. If someone truly loved you, then they wouldn't treat you or act like that. Like, that's just my personal opinion, right? They just wouldn't. And I mean, if they do and they're aware of it, they would seek help, and they would pay all their attention on getting help rather than, you know, stay in this toxic relationship, in my opinion. And so, yeah, as soon as I reinforced, no, this is it, right? I questioned myself. I was like, am I being unreasonable? Like, what's going on? And this has happened over like a couple months. This isn't the first thing that happened, but this was the moment where I was like, I'm reinforcing. And the moment I reinforced, they did not like it, and they quickly flipped the switch and wrote really, really rude, like, horrible things. And that was like, there was a very big eye-opener for me. And for people that don't have that within them, to be like, well, no, I deserve better. I know that, you know, besides the good times, that this is really toxic behavior and I don't deserve this, I'm going to leave. They don't have that within them. Narcissistic people can take control of those that, you know, this sounds terrible, but that are the weak, meaning that they don't have a strong boundaries. They don't have that that full respect for. It's usually people that are lost, that you know, can't stand up for themselves, that have that people pleasing behavior. And I come from someone who was a big people pleaser, so it's really, really, really important to ask yourself, just like, you know, it's really hard, especially if you've been with someone for years, and I know people, I know personal people that have gone through it that are still with it, you know, in a relationship like this. And it's really, really sad to see, because, you know, these people are beautiful people, and they're being controlled, and they're being used, and they're being manipulated by these people. And they feel stuck, and they don't know how to get out of that. And it's not as easy as, you know, someone like you telling them, you know, hey, you're in a narcissistic relationship, fucking get out of there. Because no, you're trapped in their game. You're trapped in what they've got going on, and it's really hard to get out. It is really, really hard to get out. And I've had many experiences with narcissistic people. I dated them too, long time ago, but this was just another experience that I had encountered, and it was really upsetting. It did upset me, because I like straight away went into victim mode of, why is this happening to me, blah blah blah. Like, I set my boundaries, and then I kind of just like, you know, kind of got over it in a way of like, okay, well, it's not me, it's them. I can't control someone else's behavior. I can't control how they feel and how they react. And I guess for people that are in the receiving end of the narcissistic relationship, they want to change them, they want to help them, they want, you know, all of this, they want to see the good in them, they want to see them change, and it just never happens. It never happens. And for me, I see the good in everyone, regardless of how they treat me. I always see the good. And I don't want to lose this trait, but there is like a line for me where I will set boundaries regardless. Like, if I see the good in you, and, you know, I understand that everyone has their different level of awareness. I get that. So I always forgive. I always see the good in people. But in this case, I did see the good in this person, probably a little bit too much, gave them the benefit of the doubt. And it was just a huge eye-opener. So if any of you are going through something like this, that maybe you are in a narcissistic relationship, friendship, or know someone, I just want you to reach out to me and just talk to me, because I know in these type of situations, I probably can't help you in a way of getting you out of it, but I can definitely support you and just listen to you, because sometimes when someone's going through something that's difficult, and you just kind of want to let it out, or talk to someone, because it's, you know, maybe this thing that you can't necessarily tell your parents or your best friend, or I don't know, whoever. So more than happy for you guys to reach out, and just be there for support only. And then if you want my advice, I can give it to you, but I just want to be there to support you and love you, because it just happens. I see it way too much. I've been a victim of it myself, and I think it's not talked about enough. I think it's not, you know, it's something that I think a lot of us need help with, in terms of something to be reinforced. I don't know what that is, but I definitely think that there is something that needs to be, and there could be something that could help. I don't know what it is. And just spread a lot of love, guys, because, you know, love and support is just, I think, the biggest things that we all need and we all crave and want. So please reach out to me if you are going through something like this. I'd love to be your support system, your oh God, what happened here? My light fell off. Turned off on my phone, my laptop. Yeah, so I'd just love to be here with you guys, and support you in any way that I can. So please do reach out, and I hope if you've watched this and this has, you know, helped you in any way, then my heart, you know, I'm so appreciative and thankful, because, you know, everything that I say and do and put on this, on wherever this is going, YouTube, I always mean it for the best intention. I don't always want anything or expect anything out of it, except for just, I don't know, you to help you, to shed some light, to make you smile, or to just change your mood and make your day. If I can make your day, then fuck, that's made my year, to be honest. So again, I just want you to, like, please feel free to reach out and feel like you can, I don't know, speak to me, because yeah, I just want to be here for you guys, and in any way that I can make a small impact, I will. So thank you, bye.